Okay, I think nearly perfect.
Yeah. Please, I once again you have to be, feel free and
Sure.
speaking slowly,
Yes.
considering the Korean listeners. Yeah. This is the Asian Vision Forum. My name is Jung Hojai. Yeah, I'm a media part head in this forum.
Thank you.
Today we invite the Kim Min-soo. He is the expert of construction and city planning and policy in everything.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
You're making me even feel more embarrassed. But thank you very much for your compliment. So, yeah, Min-soo Kim. I'm not an expert or anything, but I'm a urban planning policy planner. I served the Korean government since 2019. So I've been serving the government for 4 years, a little bit more than that. And before that, I worked in the private firm like Samsung or Japan Gasoline Company and etc. for construction planning. So basically my expertise lies on urban planning and construction and making budgets.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, thank
I'm
you
so
for
honored.
coming this small office.
I thank you. No, this is such a huge office. I love your office.
Yeah, I knew you are moving so many cities, so amazing cities,
Yeah, amazing.
including the America, United Kingdoms, and also in Asia, Jakarta and Singapore. How many cities you experienced?
Well, considering the fact that I dwelled in 7 different cities,
7.
8. So dwelled means I lived. So I lived in America, UK, London, Singapore, Dubai, Saudi, Indonesia, and Vietnam, and Korea. So I'm not sure if I counted right, but basically 5 years here, 7 years there, or like 3 years, 1 year like that. So total 19 years in overseas. So I was born in Korea, but I was brought up and raised in many different cities, which I feel very delighted.
So you maybe you have a habit to compare the cities' strong point and the weak point.
I do.
So you are interested in the city planning.
Yes.
Naturally.
Yes, absolutely. That's such a right answer. Very natural thing because I have been brought up in many cities, so I see different, norms, how people live, and cultural backgrounds, and of course you see buildings, you see people, you see roads, and religion and how people live, foods, cuisine, everything. So maybe that naturally brought me into city field. Possibly right answer. I knew that. Thank you, Dr. Hojai.
And I heard that you also studied about this issue, these themes, this
Yep.
subject.
Yeah, I majored in construction management in UCL, in UK Bartlett School, and that's for my bachelor degree. And then I study urban economic development as my master's degree. So I haven't had a PhD degree yet, but one day I hopefully can study more. But yeah, so basically I study city and I work cities and working in the city.
So today we are going to talk about the megacity.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
megacity.
Megacity is always the
Yeah.
fantastic and futuristic,
Sure.
and it gives a feeling that we have to pursue this.
Absolutely, yeah.
Megacity is always a good thing.
It sounds something great.
Yeah.
Preposterous. And do you remember back in 3 years ago, I tried to write something about megacity, and then you were the editor for the column. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And I was so surprised that you were not a journalist at that time for the very major media in Korea, but then you had such a sort of substantial. You know how to pick up the substantial. Good issues in a good point. So I was so surprised, and plus I was pretty grateful that you could edited my
No, yeah,
poor, paragraph because you're a professional writer, but I'm not. But anyways, megacity is such an interesting issue, and it's sweet issue too. But I'm not so sure how people will approach or people see or discern this huge topic because picture speaks 1,000 words, right? So if you see mega cities like Seoul, here we're living in Seoul, New York, London, then you see big cities, many people and highly developed infrastructure, and of course cultural values. All those things are something tangible, and visible. So you see, Hong Kong, Singapore, Bangkok, those mega cities, many people, tourism business is high. But thing is, I'm not so sure, and even many scholars in academic field, they can define megacities. Exactly, discern megacity, metropolitan, megalopolis, super wide city. These are just terminology, but I'm not sure what exactly defines a city, a mega city, or there's no like middle mega city or like
No.
or
weird.
potential
Yeah.
mega city.
Okay.
There's nothing like
Okay,
that.
mega city is kind of the concept, but the example is more important. Which cities you think is a mega city?
Definitely Seoul in Asia, and I think Bangkok and Jakarta in ASEAN. I like to use this terminology ASEAN rather than Southeast Asia.
Okay, yeah. And New York is also mega
New
city.
York, absolutely. New York, New Jersey, and London could be mega city too. Because if you only see the London that you travel, then that's like a small Westminster Bridge that. But London is consisted of like 6 zones. So greater, we call it GLA, Greater London Authority, and then you have even more. So London is one part, absolutely a mega city too. And recently I found that I lived in San Jose too.
San Jose?
In California, but
It's small.
San Jose itself is small, but Cupertino, Palo Alto, Sunnyvale, San Francisco.
San Francisco
So
cities.
if you consider the whole as a spatial value, definitely that's a huge mega. That's not huge as in land, the size of the land, but then of course it's a mega city too. So maybe we can suggest 3 factors. Population, how highly populated, and the size of the land, and economic power.
Okay.
Maybe 3.
Okay, which one is most important when we talk about the mega city definition?
In my opinion, my personal, nothing is based on academic, proven
Okay.
or anything, but I think economic
Influence, powers.
So you see, how highly populated is Singapore? 6 million?
Yes. 6
6
million?
Yeah, Singaporean national holders are like 4.5 to 5 million, but then you include permanent residential permit. I'm not so sure about that. PR residential holders and foreigners who are considered to be living in Singapore, then 6 to 7 million. So that's a mega city too. It's less. It's just the size of maybe Seoul is like 9 million and over. So less. Obviously smaller than Seoul by a population, but then if you're considering how their business, financial structure, or like their supply chain, all those kind of things, definitely Singapore could be considered as a mega city too, I think. So economic power.
But economic power is kind of the result of the population and the land size.
Absolutely.
So it's very different
Absolutely.
layer of your point.
True. Hojai, you mean that it doesn't really mean that like wide land. The city has the wide, land size is a mega city, but then maybe a small city could be stronger in economics or trading. Do you mean that, or you mean that?
Yeah. So my
Maybe I
question is,
misunderstood your
do you
question, yeah.
name the cities that having economic power but not suitable for the mega city definition?
Okay, so as I said in the first, I'm sorry, but I can't exactly define what is a mega city. Because if you see, mega means what? huge in volume. I mean, maybe the word itself.
Millions.
Yeah, millions. Yeah, I wrote it from Latin or something. I'm not sure, but look, big city. So
Okay.
big city means big economy, and then of course, very vitalized and economic power, and of course, trade volume is high, and then a lot of people, there are a lot of moving people, commuting work and going to school. So city which has influence.
Okay.
Maybe we can conclude that because we need more study for that. It's so hard to talk about that.
So megacity is a kind of the ideal
Exactly. I mean,
way we have
exactly.
to follow.
I would have to approach as a conceptual framework. It's
Yeah.
ideal thing.
Yeah,
that,
okay,
that,
ideal.
That probably
Not easy to.
more
arrive.
than half of the people in the world agree. Yeah, mega city, New York. You see Manhattan, Queens, Bronx, Brooklyn, big city. You have port, you have airport. Food here and building here, and of course Manhattan built. Investment banking, retails. So you just unconsciously think New York, mega city.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, L.A., Los Angeles, mega city. I mean, no matter how city has been structured, or no matter how many problems they have, or how hugely population has been increased, mega city is mega city.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if that answers.
So New York City
absurd,
is so idealistic for all of the countries.
Absolutely.
Most Asian
Absolutely.
policymakers and city planners try to
Absolutely.
mimic
Yeah.
the New York style.
Benchmark. Yeah. NYC. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, no doubt.
In terms of size or the economic influence.
True. New York. Yeah.
But-
Absolutely agree.
But it's very difficult to follow.
I'm not gonna talk about the history of immigrants of New York, but as you know, after World War One, World War Two, a lot of people, migrated into New York, and you know that picture that's stamped in the port, right? Like Hudson. Okay, in out, yes. Deny, fail. So New York is considered. Maybe that could be another factor. So how diverse the city is, ethnically, nationality, and how well the diversity has been rooted or structured. That could be one of the components that cause megacity.
So the East Asia countries and the capital of the cities and the planning, the mayors and planners try to follow the way of New York.
Yeah, agree.
And also
True,
megacity is the kind of the ideal policy goal they have to achieve.
Or at least suggest some kind of like great proposal to their citizens.
Yeah.
But I would have to ask you, why do you think so?
Wow.
I mean, why? We haven't found why Asian lawmakers, whether that is prime minister, president, or congressman, whatsoever, people who are in a decision-making power position. Why do you think they keep on saying that let's become like we're gonna change this district, building high-rise building, for example, Yeouido in Korea, IFC. We're not even contented with IFC itself. More investment banking. Why?
Okay. I think it is kind of the result of the spread of developmentalism.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because development is always good and right.
Yeah, absolutely. I major urban economic development. As you said, development includes industrialization and urban agglomeration. So that means putting everything very compact, utilizing very sort of substantial in a limited area, and of course fundamental core business functions must be included too. So development means efficiency or efficacy to plan the city. So basically, once the city has been developed, then city will have more identity in detail, and the rest of the rest part of the city could be maybe covered by other utilization purposes. For example, park. We're planning to build huge park, green park like Manhattan in Yongsan,
Yeah.
you know, U.S. Army field. But why? Because we're building more, you know, we're developing Yongsan and Yeouido and Mapo. So we feel all our functions are already fulfilled, and then basically development will be the greed of people to expect the future. So once we're developed, we feel we're ready, right? In terms of technology or ideology, or you know, you're expert on geopolitical issue, but all these kind of you know, external factors. So we feel that once we're developed, then we're more ahead, and then you know, we can prepare for the future so that we're stronger. Maybe that's very basic natural greed, I think. Maybe it could be lust of the people, but I wouldn't say lust. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Seoul is the perfect example
Perfect example.
when you talk about the megacity issues, because every Seoul mayors
Yeah,
mentioned the megacity.
exactly.
Yeah.
Even since the first mayor till I don't know, Mayor Rosen is like 30. I don't know, some kind of like 38 or 37. But okay, development from 70s. I'm not gonna talk about 60s, okay? But 70. Mayor Kim Young-wook or maybe Mayor Koo, they built you know, metros, you know, subway, tubes, and then of course they built highways. I mean, not highways. What do you call that? The coverage that links the Hangang, like bridges, and then of course tunnels and all this infrastructure, and then more apartments in Gangnam Bampo, and of course in other part of area too. And then we're keeping doing that, right? What is the issue now? That they say they're going to build a huge tower, not even a skyscraper, but a huge tower with a Taegukgi Korean national flag in Gwanghwamun. That's another an action of developing something, right? Because it has been preserved now, but you're building something. So that's development too. So we are actually on the process of being more megacity.
Yes. So we are always we have been talking about the strong point of megacities and the bright side of megacities.
Sure.
But what is the weak point or the problems that the megacities brought us? What do you think about?
Huge. A lot. A lot.
What is?
Do you feel happy to being part of Seoul?
Compared to 10 years ago, 20 years ago,
Yeah.
I think the Seoul's continuously losing the populations, but the
Adjacent area.
the development, the technology is
Advancing
developing
very high. Yeah.
So I think the air's condition is better than 20 years ago.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But the traffic jam is going high.
Yeah.
But the pricing of the housing is skyrocketing.
Skyrocketing.
Yeah.
And polarization. A apartment costs 6 million, and then
Yeah.
another small detached house costs maybe quarter, not even quarter, like 10% of that house.
Okay, so
yeah.
something is going bad, something
Of
is
course.
going
Good.
better.
But we're talking about the flip side, the downside,
Yeah.
and the hidden side of the megacity or development, aka. Then I would say air pollution. Of course, that's something very natural that we can feel every day. I mean, you're an expert of Indonesia too, but you know tiga orang policy, right? Basically, that means 3 people in one car to exit Switzerland Airport to other city, unless you're ambassador or a highly, high officials of a country. But you know how stupid that is. I mean, you have to be at least 3 people in a vehicle to pass a road because of the small narrow road and more people, highly populated, city, and the traffic jam is getting higher. So not even very rich people, affluent people, they rent helicopters, choppers to move like airport to my house. That's such absurdity compared to other cities like in the western side. So basically that could be air pollutions or living conditions. I mean, those kind of basic values we're basically intruded. And number 2, I would have to say economic polarization. So that means, for example, if you're just living in a suburb or just normal city. I won't say normal city, but I mean let's make an example. maybe can you just give me an example of any normal city, like not mega city, but normal city in Asia?
Hanoi?
Hanoi. I mean, Hanoi is the surely capital city of Vietnam, has strong political power with history. Everybody knows Hanoi, right? But it's not very highly populated, and considering the length, the huge land of Vietnam, because you have Hanoi, Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City, right? So Hanoi is perfect example of normal city that we think. You have good houses, people, everything is well equipped. But if you think of, on the other hand, if you think of Ho Chi Minh City, what are the problems that strikes your mind? Motorcycle, time check, and what do you have? Like what? So many problems. I mean taxation values, and then some houses are like skyrocketing. Some of the very rich, affluent families have 5 to 6, 7 cars. Price of the car are expensive in Vietnam too. But some people just have to, ride motorcycle for day by day. But then this is so. Well, basically, it's absurdity. But then this is something very natural, and of course, and normal economy.
Okay.
Capitalism. Yeah.
So megacities have lots of the dark side.
I think so.
Yeah, so it's okay. We can talk about the one issues. First thing is the garbage issue.
Oh yeah, landfills.
Landfills.
Yeah. Seoul could be a perfect example.
So,
Yeah.
but it looks compared to the other Asian cities, Seoul is very comparatively good.
That's the flip side of the mega city.
Ah.
Because we have such a good system, a relatively better system, very advanced system in treatment, water treatment and garbage treatment.
I think it's for the citizens corporation.
Absolutely, yeah, exactly. We can see
Yeah.
trash is like, litters are like on the street, like Jakarta.
Yeah.
But then because our technology is developed, we think that Seoul has no problem with landfills, but then the landfill problem is so serious. 2025, so it means next year, we can't do the landfill business anymore. That means we have to either burn it or use even higher advanced, technology like, carbon whatsoever, capturation or sequestration technology, better technology. But then nobody has one. So problem of Seoul megacity project, you have Incheon and Gyeonggi-do, southern Gyeonggi, right? So what if you, constitutional value says you have to treat your trash by your own. That's constitutional value in democratic society. You can't give our landfills to Incheon, but this is reality. I've been to Incheon landfills in Komdan so many times, but you feel so scared, and people living there, they have some serious illness too, because there's so many toxic things. So basically, what about those kind of unfair development side? Why people in certain area have to get all the landfills of some rich people? That includes, affluent part of Gyeonggi-do, like Pangyo, Bundang, Gwacheon. Those cities are affluent as Seoul, right? So all those trash are going to Seung, Incheon, Komdan. So these kind of examples could be a very relatively okay example to explain about the dark side of the megacity, because those small cities are adjacent, and then even because of the traffic volume is high, so good traffic functions make bad people's living. Does that make sense? Imagine if you can go to Incheon in an hour. If you think Bandung and Jakarta, or even farther, maybe even farther, like, then how can you, do you think the expenses to carry all the landfills, borrowing trucks and throwing into other cities are cheaper, or finding your own solution by your own is cheaper? We're doing it in Mako.
So Seoul citizens and the mayors said that due to the small size of the Seoul.
But yes, Seoul is let me give you the fact. 730 or something square kilometers or something. But Incheon is like 10,000. Yeah. But then look, the pop. If you think that's such a stupid absurdity because Incheon is considered of so many lands of West,
Yeah.
adjacent to North Korea, and then, actually, the land that you can actually utilize is way smaller, and population is only 3 million. We have 9 million here, and then 14 to 15 million Gyeonggi-do. Okay, let's not talk about North, but Seoul itself, 9 million here, 25 boroughs, districts. But then, I understand there's no place to, put your trash down into your own county. No county commissioner or, mayor or a congressman will say, oh, we'll do by ourselves.
Okay. So
We'll do somewhere else in a very environmental way. Somewhere else means-
Tokyo and Beijing is
Yeah.
bigger than Seoul. Much
Absolute-
bigger.
much
times.
bigger, four
bigger.
times, even
Yeah.
population-wise, 30 million Tokyo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's somewhat
So that's
reasonable of the Seoul mayor's.
But no,
urgings.
I disagree because
Okay.
why do you have province? What do you call that? A governor of Gyeonggi.
Gyeonggi governors maybe.
Is he a governor? Yes, right. He's an elected governor, right?
Yeah, of course.
I'm not talking about politics. He's an elected governor.
Yeah.
He has so many votes after president because Gyeonggi population is so big. But why do you sort of separate this administration area if you're just gonna make this one? Why do you do that election? Why? If mega city Seoul, Incheon, Gyeonggi, Seoul is one city by our own norms, then why you elected and make this on your congressmen or councilors to speak about your local issues? Why? You don't have to do that, right? If you want to do real mega city in Korean way, or mayor of Seoul says, then you don't need a governor of Gyeonggi or mayor of Incheon.
So you mean you have the Seoul cities solve the problem, the issues in this
I won't
situation?
say 100%, but you have to have at least consent. Of the people. I'm not saying mayor guys or governor guys.
But as you know,
But
the Seoul have the power.
Yeah, exactly. So I said, as we talked about
They want
earlier,
to expand their territories.
exactly where the power came from.
Power came from
Economic
money,
money, yeah.
taxations.
Just taxation. And
Yeah.
second thing that I really wanted to talk about is taxation.
So people couldn't find the good appropriate the site for the land field.
Absolutely, there's no way.
In a way,
I mean,
too expensive.
We're making it
Yeah.
in Mapo area,
Yeah.
but we're basically like grounding it. But then its capacity is so small.
Yeah.
We can't do it by our own. So we have to send it, outskirts.
Yeah, outskirts.
Yeah, like neighboring. I wouldn't say somewhere, but probably the place there where we have been doing it. So that's such a flip side of doing mega city. But if you keep pushing this policy, then what about the weaker people? I mean, relatively, more, less economically developed people. Well, I mean, people who have less, income, or people who have, no asset, basically. Then they have no political power.
Okay.
How are they going to resist against to mega city project, or even sort of mega city is something like this. So where mega city project agreeers say, okay, we don't think this city is very effective. So we're going to plan our city by district that we think effective, right? But anti-mega city, I disagree, mega city people say, no, there are reasons must be like this as of now, because there are so many subtle or even complicated reasons that we can't actually do that. So this is basically urban ideological conflict between the two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But mostly educated people support mega city. That's so true.
Seoul is the kind of the mega city, and they are trying to be
So
a mega
true.
city like
So
the
true.
New York and the
Yeah,
Tokyo
absolutely
and
fanatic.
London. Yeah,
Yeah,
Seoul
absolutely,
is
yeah.
one of the mega city, I think so. But
I agree.
okay, Seoul can be, and Seoul could be, Seoul might
So,
be.
yeah, might be. Yeah.
Yeah.
So almighty.
Yeah, almighty because of the political powers, they
Yeah, I mean, I would
could,
say
economic influence.
ambivalent.
Yeah. How about the Busan city?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think it can be the possible to be a mega city?
This issue has been, as you know, discussed ever since 2 decades ago. Since I think 2004, the Special Act of Regional, Development Act, and then in President Roh Moo-hyun period. So as you know, the central government administrative part, they moved to Sejong, and then of course the balanced economy. A special act changed a lot parts of our life, but that we can feel. Taxation. So, for example, comprehended housing tax has been established and enacted. So we didn't have such thing, right? And so taxation has been relatively, what do you call that? Fairer. But then at the end of the day, even asset prices go higher. But back to the Busan, population of Busan is about 3-point-something million, definitely less than 3.5, 3.3, and Ulsan 1-point-something, 100 million, 8 million, and Gyeongsangnam-do province. So all those cities are adjacent. Gyeongsangnam-do is such a big province, like Gyeonggi-do of Busan. So we call that Buulgyeong, Busan, Ulsan, Gyeongsangnam-do.
Yeah, 10 million
megacity.
people population project also.
In total,
Yeah.
about 800 million of population can make a huge good, multiplication synergy in terms of economic thing. So I personally think that's a good thing, unless political threshold, smears. And for example, I want to be a mayor of Busan or mayor of Ulsan or governor of Gyeongsangnam-do. No. But this happened in Indonesia too, right? Yeah, I mean, Balikpapan.
So
it's the
cooperation
same
is
thing.
very difficult.
Cooperation is difficult.
Almost
who
impossible.
Can,
Yeah.
Come on, who can? De Blasio and Mayor. You have NYC mayor, and then but who cooperates? That cooperate means what? You're lessening your power. So somebody's getting more empowered, and somebody's getting less powered. But obviously, in a democratic country, you have this, right to say an equal position.
Yeah,
right?
but anyway,
because
the central
not
government
using-
supports this issue,
but
this law.
this is
by the law.
slightly different because central government, National Assembly passed a law in a very strong stance with a huge amount of budget. That's okay.
Budget
and,
is
and
yeah.
ministers or I don't know, maybe economic minister, president say, okay, yes, Busan mega city. But then I would have to question you back. Industrial Bank of Korea. No. What do you call that? The Development Bank of Korea. What do you call that? KDB Korea.
산업은행.
산업은행. Yeah. Busan, what has been done so far? Nothing. Mayor of Seoul said in their counselor PMQ thingy, questioner, he said no, he disagreed. But Mayor of Busan, of course, he wants KDB to be moved to Busan because that will absolutely enhance financial improvement, for example, ICO issues or blockchain issues, fintech issues. Of course, a lot of opportunity will be expanded if they go to Busan because Busan is a city of expansion, right? Logistics. But that has been so far. Nothing has been done yet.
Yeah, I know, but
You can't even
the financial
the
industry,
state-owned
yeah.
bank to Busan. Then
Yeah.
how can you say that? Okay, 3 guys, you make one city.
maybe the Korean stock exchange moved to Busan.
Like KRX.
Yeah.
Some say okay, KRX, stock exchange or some kind of relevant financial institution. If we all come in a package, then we're gonna accept. But do you think that really could happen in a reality? I disagree because this is not only Korean issue, but then Indonesia too, and some of the countries who has a relatively larger volume too. Of course, you want to have good thing in your, what makes your asset price. What decide your asset price? Job, transportation, shopping malls, your education, your kids' school. All those good things must be in your town. That's so sad, but that's not there. I think practically there's no way, that we have done in the 70s or 80s. I like Ha Jun Chang professor personally. Arthur Hojai, who teaches in Cambridge,
Wow.
장하준.
장하준.
Yeah, but that doesn't work anymore. Developmentalism and then state-owned. No president would say, okay, move for the future country.
It's authoritarianism.
Yeah, I mean, then people will say, oh, you are a dictator, and then your policy is wrong. Then how are you going to keep your support from all people? This is so
So
difficult.
in the
issue.
democratic countries, the mega
Developed countries,
cities
South
making
Korea is very
the,
democratic, very developed.
it's impossible. Yeah.
Not impossible, very difficult unless, half of the people say yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's another way
Okay,
to
sure.
point. I think. Do you think the
Yeah.
two mega cities in one country is possible?
That was my thesis for
Oh, really?
long.
Because Singapore and Hong Kong is itself is the mega city.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
It's
true,
possible.
true. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
geopolitically, yes.
It's possible. But in the Bangkok and Indonesia and South Korea, it's a size and volume is not very big.
But
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that is purely due to size of the country or population. Because if you look at Taiwan, Chinese Taipei, yeah. I mean, you have Kaohsiung and you have Taipei,
Yeah.
right? Vietnam, you have Hanoi and you have Ho Chi Minh.
Mm.
I mean, of course, you have so many cities, but then LA, West Side, and East Side, New York.
Mm.
But Berlin and Frankfurt or Munich. So you have like at least two or more multiple props that stands the economy of the country.
Yes.
London, Liverpool, Manchester, and Edinburgh too. Edinburgh is not like economically developed city, but then actually they have political power in UK. So I think Korea is very alike UK. London and UK, England, Seoul. So London, I would say London, Greater London area,
Okay.
and Seoul, Greater London, Greater Seoul, area,
Yeah.
and the non. And even more than half of the population of this country is living in Seoul, Greater area.
Yeah.
So I call it Republic of Seoul Metropolitan.
Yeah, Seoul
rather than
Republic.
rather than Republic of Korea.
Yeah. Stockholm Republic.
Yeah, Stockholm Republic, exactly. That is not a nonsense anymore.
So.
And as you know, our economic development is, I wouldn't say, we're going okay. Our debt ratio is okay, BIS is okay, but then problem is that our, low birth rate and then our social marginal utility cost is getting higher, and then, our economic development value is 1%. We were projected like 1.4 to 2% by other, Goldman Sachs or KDI. So, not like 10 years ago that we can guarantee at least 5 or 7% of
Impossible, yeah.
Yeah, and you have to think about import too. People only think about export. How many cars, how many phones, or how many, good things we sold, but then you have to import your, resources, and then external things are getting higher. We are getting harder, and then how are you going to support Seoul megacity project, especially. Busan megacity project could possibly be plausible once people agree, because they have demand. You know what's the difference between the two? One, Busan, they have demand, citizens. Okay, I don't think Busan is enoughly affluent as before, so let's make more, robots, and Boeing is there, and Kai, aerospace industry, robotics, so many good things are in Gyeongsangnam-do, and Ulsan, of course, city of car, okay, let's get her all together, mix and jumble, then we can make even better economic, of scale theory. But then Seoul, they don't think so. Even Gangnam is not Gangnam, right? All the small segment cities, they think differently. So I think this is very difficult thing at this now in 2024.
So.
Yeah, I'm not an
You
expert.
mean the mega city is very old frame, almost
True, we
decades
agree.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Already is
But it's easiest framework for decision maker to say, because it's easy. See, megacity, 2 syllables or 4 syllables or any words. Megacity, big soul, these are big tech. These are something good, positive that you can easily say that, right? Nobody's saying nay to megacity.
okay.
Yeah.
So do you have any alternative notion?
Well, if
We have
I
to-
had one, I would be some kind of like decision maker, but I don't have
But
one.
kind of the eco city is kind of the
No, I think these are the same things. You know, we try so many things, right? Something cluster, something belt, eco city, and then what AI, blockchain, what clustered, what
Semiconductor.
covers a semiconductor belt, core
Yeah.
of something, mech of something. But all these are in the same bottom line. So basically, I know what they want to say. Of course, I mean their will is pure. I mean they want their city to be more developed in an economic way. I mean industrial way too. But then, practically thinking, if I have to suggest one relatively practical answer, I think taxation issue.
What is taxation
I mean,
issue?
for example, I would just say something. I wouldn't say income tax because I think Korean income tax is relatively, managed well, comparing to other, OECD countries.
You mean the megacity tax?
No,
you
no,
need?
no, 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 no. I'm saying income tax in general because our income tax, like people, labor or income
Usually
tax.
the megacity citizens got high incomes.
Yeah, but then
Higher incomes.
But how we sort of cover that income tax gap is we have asset-based, comprehensive asset taxation, or some other taxations like transfer tax, or trading taxes, or real estate, property tax. So those are higher, and then for example, it has been I think we started in 2009. Seoul Metropolitan government is doing 공동재산세. I'm not sure how you're gonna explain this in English, but then Gangnam-gu, which is the richest county in Seoul, pay 25%, 50%, and then they're getting coverage to other. So this is a myopic thing, but then practical thing, but there still needs to, and they're making even huge political conflict, right? But I would say, please stop making a theme of the city. Don't say AI, autonomous driving Gangnam, AI something Pangyo. Stop saying that. I mean, like international financial hub 여기도, like core media political please stop saying that. That's absurdity. That's preposterous.
Absurd?
Because that's preposterous because it means if a company, one or two more biological company is located in one city, for example, Songdo in Incheon, then do you really consider that city as like a bio, mecca of bio, like pharmaceutical?
Somewhat.
Yeah, I live there, but then I don't think so. We have park, other industry, we have other we're machinery is even stronger. So it's something like some people work for biological companies, something bio, like some other pharmaceutical firms or even advanced industry, but then some people do not. So please do not theme your city. I mean,
No
AI,
more framing.
not.
So one issues or two issues.
Exactly. Seoul is not just a mega city. Seoul is the capital city, and then of course, very important city as in politics because the core of democracy.
But most
is in
cities
No,
try
no.
to make a
No.
industrial cluster.
In Asia, yes.
Yeah.
But then, okay, now we can draw the answer at the end. Last day, look. Do you really think Sacramento? That means California. Like they wanted to make it like Silicon Valley, and then they named that. They have advertised to everyone, promoted. Oh, Silicon Valley's but no. I lived in Silicon Valley, San Jose, in early '90s, but then no, because of the schools. There's so many good schools. Stanford, UC Berkeley. I mean, highly educated schools with engineering base. They're mixed and jumbled with people who have strong project management ability, and then eventually Facebook, Meta, Google, Alphabet, all this, ChatGPT, all this kind of Tesla, it's not something that has been planned as like mega tech city San Jose. No, it just eventually happened. So
Eventually happened.
Eventually happened by academic power.
So the academic-based
But
industry,
you know, that's only that
Eventually.
only applied to U.S. I mean, even not whole part of U.S. is doing that.
Okay.
There are rich part of U.S. a lot. Virginia, I mean, Arlington, this is good. Seattle, but then look, how many countries can do this?
No, just only one America.
America. So this is like infinite route that we can actually draw the right answer.
So I cannot understand the taxation's problematic. What is your solution to the
I can't give you a
flattening
solution.
or the
Okay.
or make big difference to the
If I have a solution.
yes, taxation is very difficult to
I mean,
understand.
okay,
What
I
is
mean-
your solution?
Okay. I'm very afraid to say this, but then
Just a broad answer.
No, I have an answer, but then I can't say this because of taxation issues are so like sensitive.
Politics, yeah.
Well, not political, but then it varies to person to person's environment. But I think our corporate tax rate is too low.
Oh yeah, of course.
I
of
mean,
course,
some
yeah.
people will argue, oh, come on, Korean economy, Korean, Samsung, Hyundai, LG, SK, those companies are not
corporate
doing,
tax,
their
yeah.
business is not doing well because of, US dollar thingy, and then, our prices is too high, labor cost is high, but then corporate tax, I wouldn't say, nobody could say increase corporate tax, but then that could be an answer because you know why? If you increase the corporate tax, right? Korean government has lack of tax, right? So I'm not saying, increase corporate tax and use for welfare. No, that doesn't work in that such a, elementary way. It's just auxiliary thing. So includes corporate rate and then making right consensus between income tax and, other VAT, value-added tax, and then corporate tax. Only taxation issue can solve at least this, maybe keeping the phenomena and not making it worse. That's only the bureaucrats can do, the government, decision makers. What can they do?
But as you
Yeah.
know, the populist politicians
Ah,
always said, we have to draw the attract
Low corporate tax and low
because
income
the
tax.
corporate is only way to make money.
Yeah, but
so
that's true,
we
yeah.
invite the more companies our cities, and that is the only way to solve everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
So lower tax.
I have a question. In general, I'm sorry to talk about only Koreans. Majority of our part of our talks are in Korea, about Korea, but I think 70 to 80% of Koreans, normal Koreans, they're very reliable to, they're very sort of leaning to real estate. They own a house. So the wealth is in the real estate, residential. In America, why do you do business? If I ask question, probably 8 out of 10 people, what do they say? 8 out of 10 people, 8 or 9 out of 10 people, they would say, do business, make money, and make more money, do more business, commercial real estate. But what's the trend or economic shifts in Korea? Residential. Your 6 million, 5 million apartment. So, but think.
Why you make money?
But
We buy the house.
But house is a representative business of not tax business, right? Maybe not in Korea, but house is not something like business, right? If you want to make your own business, and you have to be very burdened by so many components of tax, because you have to be very liable, and you're of course you have to be legitimate, and hiring people is very important, but real estate and of course those kind of polarization and tilted economy, it's very strong. So I don't think some maybe top 10 companies of Korea like Samsung and TC, etc. Even you lower the corporate tax, I don't think the whole volume of the country, because Samsung doesn't only work in Korea. I think only 10% or maximum 20% of for example, I don't really know about Samsung's industry structure, but wealth is earned in Korea, right? That's such an anachronistic thinking, right? It's like GMP thinking that we think that you think in 1950s, huh? Samsung do business everywhere. And of
Okay.
course, they have to think about pay taxes everywhere. People, they hire Americans, they hire Indonesia, India, Bangladesh, and Vietnam. So many people work for Samsung, and then vice versa. But what? Politicians talk about offshore U-turn business, but is that really possible? No.
Yeah, I understand your point of view. The mega cities
Sorry
always,
to be very skeptical.
always bring a lot of problems, and also so it's very
So
problematic
we have
issues.
to be, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we have to be comfortable. I mean, we can be comfortable, can be contented, but we have to feel, oh, it's just the way it is of our situation.
Okay.
This is just normal developed economy.
Okay.
So once we try to do more, if you rectify more, do more amendments in economy or policies, then I think maybe I'm being a little bit conservative, but as of now, I think we need to keep it as it is.
How about the
Yeah.
issue of tourism?
Oh yeah.
It's a mega cities are very beneficial for
No.
attracting the more.
I don't find
tourists.
any logical correlations between
Okay,
building
okay.
megacities. For example, yeah, Bangkok is Asia's representative tourism city, but do you really think that that's because Bangkok is megacity?
No.
No, because Bangkok has so many attractions, food, nice food, and this is something like this. Like Korean stock, Kospi. I mean, whatsoever policies or promotion you do, Kospi doesn't rise a lot.
Okay.
Winner takes all. They
Seoul,
already have
Seoul
upper
is
hand.
now
Yeah.
becoming one of the good
But I don't
points.
think making megacities make
As
tourism bigger. Seoul is not very competent city in tourism industry.
Okay,
Do you not agree?
Yeah,
I
agree,
in terms
yeah.
of other ASEAN partners.
Still not so
Yeah,
good.
like
So-
Bangkok. Well, I mean, other so many good cities, right? Even Northeast Asia, like China,
Okay.
Beijing, Shanghai.
Tourism is not good point when we talk about
Okay,
the
let's say
megacity. Okay.
hypothetically thinking we made a megacity.
Okay.
Do people go to Gwacheon, Uyong, Anyang? I mean, why though? To see apartments? To see hagwons, private schools, how people go into private schools? That's not the answer, right?
But sometimes we think that megacity we have to go there someday.
For what reason? Apart from New York and London.
London.
Okay, Chicago is such a big city. Do you go to Chicago because it's big? No.
Okay.
Unless I find people who get laid off by Mace, I'm joking. No, I don't think so. I think attraction point is completely.
We have a
discrete
mind
things.
to visit Bangkok. This is the historic city.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why people go to Cambodia? Why people go to Myanmar?
Many historic sites.
Yeah, I mean, why Westerners? I mean, I wouldn't say I don't like to say West, East, but why Europeans or Americans they visit Ulaanbaatar? Why?
Okay.
I mean, Bangkok, why? Because historical thing. I mean, some
Cheap.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an
That's
upper
right.
hand.
And
Yeah,
cheap.
cheaper and sightseeing too, and of course, lot of. I mean, so basically, you choose something that gives you more value than you pay, right?
Yeah.
But does megacity do that?
No.
Ro?
Always expensive.
I mean, that's all just for politicians. I mean,
Well, London is well balanced.
pretty well.
Yeah.
Because they're very progressive in some other way. For example, regulatory sandbox, 규제 sandbox. I mean, some of the CBDC too, like labor reformations, and now like procurement issues. Some of the issues they're getting very fast. I was very surprised because I thought UK is very slow, but some of the issues getting very fast. But on the other hand, they're trying to keep this tradition as it is because probably experimental. I mean, they have tried this in 1980s, right? Their economy weren't good, so.
Okay, it's a very complicated
Yeah,
issue.
I mean,
Megacity is sometimes good, but recently.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say there. I mean,
Yeah.
there are cons and pros. I mean, pros and cons, boons and banes. Good and bads.
How about the notion of a great city?
What is great city?
Great city is mixing of historic point of view and the economic point of view.
Like Great city.
Yeah, great
So,
city.
What comes in your mind if you say great city? I mean, you can just say
Kind of Tokyo and in Asia, I think the
something that
Beijing
like, makes you feel stunning, right?
and Shanghai
Beijing,
also great
Beijing,
city.
Shanghai. Yeah, I've been to all of those cities, but then
Seoul also, I
great.
hope to be a great city.
I mean, everybody say this. I mean, heritage,
Heritage,
culture, but K-pop. But I think we have succeeded it. I never feel that we failed to bring up this value.
Oh.
I think Seoul is attractive enough, but then unfortunately, it's like Mercedes, BMW, Audi. I would make a stupid comparison. Don't blame me. Okay, Mercedes, Tokyo or Beijing or Shanghai, BMW, or either way, we're on Audi position. So okay, so if you had one opportunity to go to Far East means Northeast Asia, then I would probably think to go to Shanghai or Tokyo if you only had one opportunity. If you're just normal American or British living in, not many opportunity like us because it's far and, of course, travel cost is high. So, I mean, we're not bad, but then, you know what I mean, right? Yeah.
Frankly speaking,
Yeah.
I cannot understand your point of views on the mega cities.
So if
the
you want
problems.
there are problems. I said taxation issues, environmental issues, landfills issues, polarization issues, economic,
in any
conflicts.
times and ages and period,
Yeah, it
any
happens.
cities,
Yeah.
most of cities
Yeah.
have the problems.
But the thing
Yeah.
is, who decide that? Do planners decide that, or do empowerment people, politicians, planners, entrepreneurs? Who decide that megacity or people?
So usually the
The problem
policymakers,
of megacity is
the result of the
there is no one who takes responsibility.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the
yeah. That's the
decision.
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, if a person said, a government said, I will take full responsibility. I will step down from everything. If he or she is very, very, popular one who can be incumbent to presidential office, then I would say, okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
But without that, I mean, everybody can say that, right? What's the point of making yes or nay to, arguing with that thing? No one will take responsibility. Anyways, as you said, people will find difficulties and then, of course, get things too. Advantages too.
Okay, so we are.
But it's just social phenomena. I
Yeah,
think.
so we are going to be shorten our
Yeah,
dialogue
sorry.
and make a short
Sure.
conclusions.
Sure.
So megacities have a long history, over 2 decades.
Yeah, even more than that.
More than that?
More than that.
Okay, you mentioned Kim Hyung-wook is 50 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, from Euliro to Gangnam, right?
Yeah. So I think the megacities always always give the image to the Asian people's bright side.
Sure.
Because we have to establish our cities like Tokyo and New York and London and this as a mega cities.
Visible.
Yeah. So mega cities, I think, is a result of the developmentalisms and so it gives us the kind of example we have to follow and.
Then now I will give my final answer
Yeah.
if you allow me to do so. I mean, I won't say disagree to do a megacity project as long as regional economic conditions meets the requirement. But excessive policy could cause, as you know, privatization that we can't be burdened. For example, what happened in London when when 80s before when Thatcher took the office, the economy was so bad.
Okay, yeah, now
Even
it's
IMF
very bad,
weren't
very
allowed.
bad.
Even
Brexit,
now-
after Brexit.
Even now it's
Yeah.
getting bad, but then they learned one thing that excessive policy could cause, privatization, which cause unnecessary marginal utility cost. Utility cost that has been spent that you don't really have to spend. Like Japan, Tokyo is experiencing sort of similar thing, right? Like train prices, Shinkansen is so expensive. Even toll gate fees, those kind of like social basic overhead costs is even getting higher and higher.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean that's the taxation, and then SOC thing and marginal utility cost could be very important thing we really have to
Okay,
care
it's
about.
more short,
Yeah.
shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just 3 years ago, the Moon Jae-in government, always said that Bulgyeong, Cheonman
Yeah.
city. That means.
I mean, I work with this fellow, research
Yeah,
fellow. Not
yeah.
politics, but policy
Do you
research.
think that is also under the framework of the mega city issues, mega city visions?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's such a difficult question, but yes.
Well, yeah, yes, I
Yes.
think so. I think so.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about, I'm not saying I agree to Moon Jae-in government's Bulgyeong mega city project because it failed.
It failed. Yeah, now
But
it's failed. As you
but
mentioned.
if you think,
Yeah.
if you really have to proceed, I would just say like industrial agglomeration. That means mega city, right? So putting your strength even closer, physically, or Bulgyeong could be the only place
Yeah.
that you can try out.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
we can try. So one time.
Seoul Metropolitan. Yeah, you have only one shot, one opportunity.
Yeah, one chance. We have only one chance.
One shot, one
Yeah.
opportunity.
But we failed. Yeah.
But I think I'm not in a position to evaluate about the high governors.
Yeah, and
but,
also
but
the,
still, they have sort of traumatic thing of Sejong.
Yeah, yeah.
I think they
Sejong.
probably analyzed so many things after they moved to this administration, government and governmental body state companies to Sejong research. Then I think they learned a lot from that. So I think they were a little passive of doing for Bulgyeong A and B. I don't think there was like a huge consensus or agreement between Bulgyeong citizens that okay, let's make a mega city. I think even administrative part or bureaucrats, even legislative, we're not ready. I'm not just talking about budget. I don't think budget will be a very huge problem as long as you like one mayor or a government of Bulgyeong. That's it.
Wow, it's very
Difficult,
difficult
political
issues.
thing, your community and your industry.
Yeah, it's possible to talking in this small desk.
Absolutely. I think
Yeah.
we need more expert, and we
Yeah.
need to hear about hear from more smart.
So in
smart
conclusion,
people.
what is your last sentence to deliver to our listeners?
Okay. And first of all, I'm very honored to talk about something for our friends and member of AVF, and apologize if my answer was so wishy-washy. I mean, because I can't give right answer because due to my lack of knowledge. But then it's not cut and dry type of issue that you can decide in one day. Absolutely, yeah. It's a very delicate and complicated thing. But at the end of the day, I think this kind of debate is very constructive, and I think I hope to be prolonged. I mean, I hope to be continued because we never tried.
Okay.
I don't think not many people even try to do this. We're not doing this debate for making money or anything, zero. But then I think this is very important to at least give a shot and then hear more people. Then we can write a report. Then we're not going to change the world of policy, but we can analyze because you're doing research. Business, right? So I think not even, I mean, no matter what issue that is, something related to urban, I'm happy to talk about.
Okay.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you
Thank
for today's very difficult.
Thank you very much. It was so
dialogue
tough
and,
question.
issues,
I haven't even read every question.
I think next week we have to another issues related to the cities and
Please,
Asia.
please.
Yeah. Please bring us
all
more
means.
interesting and fancy
I will
issues.
study more.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
please don't give such a tricky part of issue. I mean, this is such a difficult
Yeah, mega
issue.
cities
that I
so
can't-
big and
it's so
yeah, and
it's
two huge issues.
vogue
we
issue
can-
that
yeah.
not many people can give a right answer to it.
I think Seoul is a very
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately,
fantastic city.
I mean, very right. I wouldn't say right, but very good exemplary model to talk about. So I just talked about Seoul and Jakarta. Yeah.
But I think Seoul's ambitions
yeah.
is destroys other cities in South Korea.
Possibly.
Yeah, yeah,
Now
possibly.
is the time we
to
can't
stop it.
deny
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
yeah.
Too huge.
I feel sorry to people who work for Seoul government. It might sound like a no Seoul project, but that's not true.
Yes, today,
Balanced economy.
Thank you for coming this.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. See you next week.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.